Hey guys, Rocky here. Been a while. This is a little bit of a video that's outside of the scope of project of the week. It's just some things I had going before. Some of the custom paint stuff I was talking about doing on the bike. Wanted to put some plastic dip on the tank and stuff like that, and do some custom paint work, see how that turned out. The idea was that I'd be able to peel that off if I didn't like it and start over again. Be able to put the custom paint work right over the plastic dip and not hurt the underlying paint. And then of course, as you guys seen through some of the videos there, I began to get a little concerned about whether or not I'd be able to peel the paint off or peel the plastic dip off after putting paint over top of it. And I did a little test on a piece of metal I had, and it didn't go so well. It could have been peeled off, but it was going to be a lot of work. It might have even possibly involved some scraping, which is just unacceptable if you're going to do that on a factory paint job. You don't want to be scraping stuff off. So it's kind of got to the point where I realized it might be a little bit of an issue there. And not only that, but after I put the plastic dip on the bike tank and drove it a little bit, I realized that the plastic dip is pretty good stuff, but if you've got any place that's going to be rubbed or touched by anything while you're moving, of course the bike vibrates a lot. Sitting on the bike, the left-hand side of the bike, when you're looking forward, sitting on the seat, the left-hand side, the knee rides really close to the tank. On the right-hand side, it's not so much of an issue because you got the air cleaner that kind of keeps your knee off and away from the tank. But so what happened is, I got some rubbing there, and as you can see, the plastic dip didn't stay on, right? It get rubbed right off with the knee. I mean, it doesn't hurt the paint underneath because, my knee rubs that anyway. It never ever hurt it yet, so it's not going to do any damage. But the plastic dip doesn't want to stand up to that. So, if I put a glossifier in it or use the stuff that's pre-glossified, it might maybe stand up a little better. I don't know. But the thing is, it looks like this whole idea with doing some stuff on the tank using the plastic dip is not going to work. As we sort of concluded, I guess you've seen all the various different stages that I went through to try to get something to work to satisfaction. But the big question is now, I did actually take a couple of pieces of the bike, smaller pieces, and I put plastic dip on them, and then started to just do a little test run with some enamel over top of that. And what I've got here in my hand is one of the side covers, and it's covered in plastic dip. Of course, a lot of dust on it from the bodywork and stuff I've been doing here too, so it looks a little, it's a little dusty or whatever, but that'll wipe off. I'm not worried too much about that. But I started to put some numbering on there, and the idea was to do some nice clean, sharp edges with some white paint or something, just to make it stand out a little bit, just to see how it would look. As an experiment. Go from there. If I like that, maybe do something else. Maybe do that and ride with it for a little while, and do something on the other side similar, and ride for a while. And then at some point, if I come up with a good idea, if everything worked out well, I would try something different. But I think that I'm going to have to put that on hold for a while. Maybe come back to that later on. It's been on hold for quite a while already, but because of Cece's vehicle that I was working on, and just got busy, a lot of other things going on. So what I wanted to do now, I just decided that I was going to grab this piece here and see what it's going to be like to get the plastic dip to come off with that paint on there, if that's going to be an issue, or is it going to come off clean, right? So I kind of started with the edges over here, just peel it off. This is, this is where you go to the edge and you start, and there's no enamel over top there. The enamel's all over here. So I'm going to just peel this off here a little bit, let you guys kind of watch as I do it and see whether or not we get, what kind of results we get. If we get any clean results, or if we're going to have issues, or what's going to happen here, right? So I'm going to set the camera up kind of here a little bit, just on a box here. Right there. Just get situated and try to get in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So, this stuff does rub off easy. Once you get it started, you can roll it right off pretty much, right? I'm not sure if you can see that. I think you can. I'll move it up a little bit here. But, like I said, you start on the edges, and once you get it started, you can actually roll it off pretty good. You can probably even start in the middle. You can get a rub on it here. I've done this before. You can actually get it started that way too, right? And but it's just a little cleaner if you start on the edges, start rolling around, because the edge is already sort of pre-cut, or whatever you want to call it. So once you get it started, get it up over the edge a little more here before we get too far. And once you get started like that, you can pretty much just take a hold of it and start peeling it, right? it comes off pretty good. But the big question is, what's going to happen when we hit that enamel paint? That's where I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to try to pull this off in one piece. I'm just going to start peeling it. So you see now, look, I'm starting to get up against the enamel paint, and it's becoming a little more difficult. See that? That number looks like it wants to stay on there, even though it's on Plasti Dip. Seems like it's going to be a little, yeah, it's going to be a little more of an issue to get off. See, so it's a good thing I realized that before I went too far with this. I'm going to have a hell of a time getting that off now. Not sure if I can use a lacquer thinner or something maybe, and just see if that'll break it up. But it's not going to peel off. And this is what I was hoping it would be, that it would peel off nice. Like this Plasti Dip comes off really good, right? See, I mean, you give it a few rubs like that, and just grab it and pull it. If I took my time, I could probably pull it all off in one nice piece. But here's where we're going to run into the issues once again. Like I said, let's just get ourselves down to the number here. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So now I'm right down to the edge of where I put this paint on, and when I try to peel it off, the Plasti Dip comes right off around it. It doesn't come off with it. So this is going to be quite a chore to clean that up. So that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to have to work on that, see if I can clean it off, maybe with some lacquer thinner, like I said, or something. And I'm definitely not going to go forward with doing any custom paint on top of the Plasti Dip on the Harley. I mean, I've got the old Suzuki outside there, the GSX 750 that somebody left here, and I don't think that the individual is going to want that bike back, from what I'm gathering and talking to the guy, which is fine. The bike is not, I don't think I'd bother to try to sell it. It's not worth my while. It's too much trouble. I don't like selling things. You get too many people come and kick tires and stuff like that, and there's not enough money in it to go through that frustration. If there were $1,200, $1,500 in it or something, yeah, that'd be a different story, but that's not the case. So I'm not going to spend any time trying to sell that. I have been given the go-ahead to take parts off it if I want parts and use them, because I said I would either want to use parts off it, or I might want to try to resurrect it and put it back on the road, drive it a little bit myself, which is kind of more what I was leaning towards. But that gives me a little more ambition to work on it, try to tune it up, get it running nice and everything like that. And I asked for the registration, and it seems as though they don't really know where the registration is. I thought it was under the seat in the toolbox or something, but I can't find it. I've looked, and I'm not going to harass them to look for it, because I know when something like that goes missing, it's usually quite a chore to find it again. Most cases it turns up on its own at some point in time, but that could be quite a while. Could be down the road a long way. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that, I guess. But in the meantime, I can bring it in the garage, and I can still play with it, get it going and all that, and try to see what I can make out of it, what I can use out of it, or whatever. But I might try some custom graphics on that, because I'm not too worried about it. Right now it's just a flat black, nothing special. It's not a factory paint job. The bike is like I don't know, 81 or 82, so it's very old. Paint's faded and everything. So yeah, I might go ahead and put some Plasti Dip on that, and do some custom paint on it, just to play around. I'm not sure yet. If I do, I'll record some of it, of course, and put it online, let you see what's going on. But in the meantime, I got a little bit of a job cleaning up the Harley. Good thing is, the front fender, I did paint that with Plasti Dip, but I didn't put any enamel or anything over top it, so that'll come clean easy. Same with the tank. I didn't do anything on the tank. That'll come clean easy. And it's just this one side cover. I didn't paint anything on any other side covers or anything. I didn't do the back fender at all. So that's just a little short video there to give you kind of a conclusion on that, because I know I'd left that sitting for a long time. I hadn't really concluded how things were going there. I wanted to sort of finish up with that. So with the custom paint on the Harley over top of the Plasti Dip, it's not a good idea. Not going to work well. If you don't want to ruin a custom job, or if you don't want to ruin a factory job, I should say, you're best off not to go that route, because it's going to be difficult to clean it up if you don't like it, and it's not an easy solution. So the best off to do is to, you know, decide if you don't like your paint job, you want to do something with it, even if it's a factory paint job, you know, you just want to cover it over. I mean, you can do that, right? You just go ahead and throw some primer over it and a coat of whatever color paint you want, or just do it right on the factory paint, I guess. Save yourself that step, because you've already got a good base probably. I guess some guys would say, yeah, you want to give it a nice fine sanding first. And I don't know. I don't think I would even go that distance. If I got a nice fine paint job on something and it's black or whatever color it is, and I want to keep that same base color, I would just paint right over it, do what I want on it, you know, do the graphics on it, hope it turns out. If it doesn't, well, then you have to spray it over again, right? Sand it, spray it, prime it, whatever, and start again with the first paint job. So, you know, if you do all this stuff yourself, it's not as expensive as it would be to take it someplace and have somebody else do it. So I think I'm going to be able to get this number off of here. I'm just going to have to do some picking at it. It's going to take a little while. It's not going to be real easy, but I'll get it. But the conclusion is, yeah, don't do this kind of thing. Don't spray your plasti dip on there and spray over it, expecting that you're going to be able to get it off, because you can get it off, but it's not going to be easy. So it's as simple as that. So I'm going to go ahead and put her all back the way she was, and you know, move on to the next project for now, which might be something similar, but just on a different bike. That's pretty much where we're at with that in terms of the project project of the week on the Toyota. Well, that's pretty much done, with the exception of the Gorilla flares. I didn't get those on yet. She has her vehicle. She has her driver's license. She's been driving it on a daily basis. That's another reason why I'm not getting to do the rest of the work on it right away. But she's had an alignment on it, and that just caused more issues. Didn't come up the way it should. It pulls now. Apparently all the settings are where they need to be to keep it from wearing tires, I've been told, but it does pull a little bit to the right. She doesn't like that. I don't like that. I've been told that I can take it in and have them look at it again for free, and I think they decided that they had a little issue with their alignment machine. They had to update some of the software and stuff, and they've done that, so hopefully they'll get the alignment to come up good the next time around. They're really good about it. I'm not going to say that they're not looking after us, because they are. You know, they spent longer than they should have to get the thing aligned in the first place. It was quite a job, and they were just going to let her take it and not pay for it, but she paid for it anyway. That's the way she is. She paid for it up front, and they said, well, we're going to check our machine, and if we have problems, you can bring it back, and we'll do it again for free and make sure we get it right. So I think they're going to hold true to that. So she drives it every day. The Gorilla flares could be put on it to make it look, you know, a little nicer, I suppose, if you like that sort of thing. It's not critical that they go on. Right now she's doing very well. I let her actually take my my 95 Mustang for a drive. It's a manual, 5-speed. I let her take that out for a little drive. Now that she's been driving hers for a while, and it's, you know, manual, she's gotten used to the whole thing. And she's pretty excited. She thought that was a lot of fun. So it was just a short drive. We didn't have a lot of time. So I told her I'd let her take that out again when she got a little more time sometime, and play around a little bit with it, see how she likes that. It seems like she would definitely like the muscle cars quite a bit from the reaction I got that first spin we had out there. So, but anyway, that's about all I'm going to say for now. So until next time, I guess, peace out.